General Medicaid warning. The views expressed in 5-ish minute lore, the lore delivered in rants, are sanctioned by their scholar Progenium as excess rageous. Prolonged exposure can result in loss of IQ, high blood pressure, random outbursts, and blunt force trauma to the skull, resulting in unconsciousness. Please consult your local physician for more information.
Marneus, Calgar, Calgar, the Space Marines. Sorry about that. Something stuck in my vocal processor, apparently. What I meant to say was Marneus Calgar, Chapter Master of the Ultramarines.
Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and get it out of the way, get it out of my system and educate you guys on why the Ultramarines catch so much flack from the community. I'm gonna talk about 2008. You see, in 2008 the 5th edition Codex was released and Matt Ward decided to do an interview in which he stated that almost all Space Marine chapters wanted to be just like the Ultramarines. And then, cherry on top of this bullshit sundae, he said that all of them recognize the chapter master of the Ultramarines as their spiritual liege. Oh my gosh! It pissed off a heavy amount of the community itself, myself included in that, because in one interview, an Ultramarine fanboy used nepotism to try to make his chapter so awesome, and then he promptly made the Grey Knights ridiculous. Matt Ward is solely responsible for that guy in the hobby store who just had to inform you that his Ultramarine army is amazing, and asking if your friend's Space Marine army acknowledges Calgar as their spiritual liege. So with all that aside, today we're going to discuss the greatest wizard of all time in the 40k universe. A wizard who only used one spell. I cast Fist! Marneus Calgar long ago rejected modernity and returned to monkey, seeing as he looks like a blue gorilla and has the same approach to handling problems. He has a sword, but come on! And those gloves have underslung storm bolters, but Calgar prefers sign language in warfare.
What is the 5 fingers say to the face? What? Slap!
Calgar's deeds of note are recorded in the vaults in the fortress of Harrow on the Crag, and as of the current date of the storyline, he has 28 volumes dedicated to him, which is more than any other 2 Ultramarines combined. In fact, the only person who has more written about him in the vaults of the Ultramarines is unsurprisingly Gilliman himself. In fact, there's so much crap that he's done, it'd be impossible to actually address even a quarter of it. I'm trying, you guys, I'm really trying not to make this a Blueberry Bash video.
Do it.
No, Creamy Sheev, I don't want to go down that route, but for the love of the Emperor, look at some of this lore.
Use your aggressive feelings, boy. Let the hate flow through you.
Alright, fine. There is the fact that Matt Ward isn't the only one to forget basic elements of their own lore when they write about things that Calgar has done. For instance, Calgar has been written on multiple occasions to do things that, even for an Astartes and Terminator plate, range from questionable to downright impossible. You want some examples? Fine! That's not a joke! The writer of the Warzone Damnos was apparently stoned because Calgar picked up a Necron pylon and began beating the hell out of everyone. He then proceeded to use it as a pistol against Necron tomb complexes. This happened. Oh, that's not extreme enough for you? That's not out of the gate enough for you? Okay then, fine. How about the Siege of Zalathras? Apparently, Calgar possesses not only Ultra Instinct, but Instant Transmission, stealing it from Goku, because an Orc invasion was stopped cold by Calgar, who held multiple gates to a single city by himself, without a single Orc getting through his defenses, for an entire day and night. Let me say it again. He held an entire city and all the gates alone against a horde of Orcs for 24 damned hours. Now, I'm not gonna say you've gotta be bullshitting me, but damn it, man, you've got to be bullshitting me!
I can feel your anger.
I'm trying, you guys. I'm really trying.
Give in to your anger.
Alright, how about the time you beat an avatar of a war god in a fist fight? Yeah, here we go again! The Eldar wanted something shiny for some reason and decided to make a big deal out of it, and summoned an avatar of Cain. Calgar had a serious problem. He subtracted all fucks, carried the Y, and arrived at a solution.
I cast fist!
Calgar hit the avatar of Cain so hard he blew its back out, legitimately putting a hole through it. Yes, you heard right. Calgar one-punch manned a fucking war god. You can really begin to see why the Ultramarines get so much shit. In fact, there are so many instances of this particular brand of bullshit that practically any enemy that doesn't instantly get own zone becomes Avengers endgame level threats.
I am invincible!
During the first Tyrannic War against High Fleet Behemoth, he got firmly BTFO'd by a Swarm Lord that turned him into a quadruple amputee and a pirate, losing an eye in the process. This Swarm Lord was actually nicknamed Gargamel. Go figure. Of course, when he fought the same Swarm Lord's reincarnation, he stomped the life out of it, apparently after doing an 80s training montage. That and the fact that at this point he fought the Swarm Lord, he was basically a cyborg. Ever since Guilliman has been resurrected, Calgar has been the personal embodiment of Cope and Seethe. Calgar had spent endless days and nights essentially worshipping the great relics of his dear old dad Guilliman, only to have Guilliman take back his quarters and promptly throw out the Chalice of Ultramar, the Codex Maximus, and the chapter's most sacred utensils, aka a Starbucks cup, a Maxim magazine, and the box that held the Chinese takeout Guilliman had left in his office before he got put on ice for nearly 10,000 years. Calgar has been steadily figuring out that his dad isn't the absolute godlike figure that he built him up as in his mind, and the sheer amount of cope when Guilliman took Cato Sicarius under his wing could have been used to power the 500 worlds of Ultramar.
Because I, Cato Sicarius, am the Knight Champion of the Crown.
The good thing is Calgar is beginning to understand that he has a bit of an ego. One thing that can't be overstated is how painfully accurate his portrayal in text-to-speech is, encompassing just how ridiculous he actually is in the lore, and many times due to the sheer fact that whoever was writing what he was doing seemed to snort a line before they wrote a line. But in all honesty, Calgar belongs in the top 3 of chapter masters alongside Dante and Logan Grimnar. He has led the Ultramarines and indeed the people of Ultramar through multiple Xenos invasions, chaos incursions, and uprisings. Guilliman acknowledges Calgar's gift even if he's not the one that Guilliman has taken under his wing. In fact, the only reason Guilliman took Cato Sicarius is because Cato Sicarius reminds Guilliman of another Ultramarine entirely, Aeon and Thiel, who was in the waiting room to be censored by Guilliman for drawing up battle plans to be used against other Space Marines when the little event known as Calth happened. Calgar was one of the first existing Space Marines we know of to become a Primaris, and it was not a pleasant experience, but since when has becoming a Space Marine ever been one in the first place? As of the current timestamp of the Imperium, Calgar is on the planet Vigilus. The first thing he did when he got there was cast Fist on a Genestealer cult, and then he joined the fight for the planet, which is currently being fought by everyone against everyone else. No kidding, there's Orcs, Chaos, Craftworld Eldar, BDSM Eldar, Nids, Imperial Guards, Sisters of Battle, and apparently there's a cheese sandwich that I'm just waiting for a Blood Raven to show up and steal. And now, just like his dear old dad Guilliman, Calgar is trying to find himself an Eldar waifu. The problem is, he's formed an alliance with a Craftworld of Sam Hine. A Craftworld that's playing Need for Speed, the real game. Calgar is an absolute beast, and the most outlandish and universe-breaking stories about him do not change the fact that he's one of the greatest leaders in the modern Imperium, and he does it all while leading his Marines from the front. Keep casting fists, Calgar, and remember, the Emperor protects!
Are you also a piece of shit?
Yes! Yes!
Moon
Kai, this hero of the Imperium. Kai, this hero